Skip countdown. All right. It's reading. Is that just a warm-up run? Or was that it? Oh my god, it was a startup. It was a warm-up run. Because I'm an idiot. It's reading, but I didn't hit record. You know I'm here. Stop. Read. 47. Okay. Oh my god. Come on. Are you serious? There we go. Oh, it's right in the road. Oh my god. Alright, see what happens. Boy, that is the one negative, man. This remote signal's bad. All right. Right for that mailbox. Oh my god, it just does like a wheelie. See where we're at. Stop. Read. 47. Dang. And it's stuck in the road. And I wonder if that guy sees it. Whoa! Guy, you're getting a little reckless here. I'm putting this thing through accelerated depreciation. Oh! To the mailbox. Whoops. Oh my god. Alright, stop. Read. Stop. Read. Did I not start? I didn't start it. Oh my god. Start. Why do I keep doing that? The signal literally, there we go. For that stupid mailbox again. Oh my god. And it's on its lid. Yeah, remember, that's the crazy part, man. Because these things are so small, it does take a lot for the driver of a real car to make sure that they, like, see it. Like, I mean, it's not their responsibility. Well, it kind of is their responsibility, but this thing looks like a little squirrel. All right, just to see where we're at here. Stop, read. 46. It's getting slower, so I'm assuming like maybe a couple of things. Number one, motor is hot. I'm gonna go ahead and take the GPS out of here. So we did get a maximum of 54 miles an hour. I did have to do a little bit of modifications to the wing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this. End that. Okay. Out of here. And we're gonna take it out to the backyard track and expend the 3S pack on this thing. Like I said, this is like that accelerated depreciation. Accelerated depreciation. It's basically just an accelerated way of using this RC car. Seeing if this thing can take the abuse. I did Loctite the wheel nuts. I'm noticing that the steering does have that thing where it doesn't, like, the servo doesn't seem to want to center, but once this thing is going straight for a speed run, the slop that's in the steering does seem to be taken out only because of the gyroscopic effect for the wheels. So instead of getting this thing soaking wet, because obviously my lawn was irrigated this morning, it's actually really starting to look like a lawn. Now when you get a bird's eye view of it, it doesn't look all that great, but it is slowly filling in. So uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, he broke the other side. All right, so I guess we're not gonna. When did that break? All right, so on 3S, this thing doesn't really handle it. Or if it does, when you get a bad accident. And I think I'm out of axles. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and I'm out ripping the 1/14 scale little, not so much an Amazon kind of thing, but it is. I mean, it is an Amazon car, but there's a company called Rlaarlo, whatever the heck the name of the company's pronounced. I don't even care how to pronounce it. It does seem to be a pretty cool car on 2S. Is it 3S capable? Yes, it is, but it's 3S capable, meaning it seems to be taking it, doesn't necessarily like it. But on 2S, this thing actually does pretty good. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and based upon the price that this car is at the drop of when it's available, technically on the 29th of this month of 2022, so June 29th of 2022, this thing, the first 200 units are going to be 50% off. So at that price level, I actually can justify going ahead and buying it because it is fun. Now, you don't necessarily have to buy this thing for yourself. You could go ahead and take this thing and pack it away for, like, say, like a holiday present. Some kind of something where you want to give it to somebody, a younger individual, or whatever. You just keep it for yourself and don't tell nobody. So I'm out. What are you doing? Yeah, it's upside down, back on the bench. That is right. It is true. This thing is back on the bench, but it's back on the bench because we did have a breakage. So now both front axles have shattered at the actual ball cup kind of area where the shaft goes in. I have noticed differences between the old one and the new one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out the rear differential, and I am going to put a thicker fluid inside that rear differential to lock up the rear end, because that right now is what I'm looking to do with it. I'm going to keep the front end open as is, but the rear, I just want to be able to lock up the left and right just that little bit. All right, so I do have it upside down. I do know I need to release at least these 4 screws, I think, unless this is no, this is a top split. So this is actually a top split case. So I will be taking off, I think, that whole section right there. I'll go into some of the details of the differences between the axles, but right now what it's doing is it's running the older axles from a prior unit. The new ones have changed. So while the new ones do have some positives, and I'll outline that, obviously having that snap is still a little bit of a negative. A little bit of a negative, like I was, just a little bit of a negative. The other thing too is I noticed is the grease that they stuck in here, there's a benefit and a drawback. The benefit is that it seems to kind of help seal out the dirt from getting to the gears. Instead of just getting in there and crunching up the gears, it kind of just seems to benefit a little bit, because right here next to the motor plate, it's kind of an open gap right there. That might be something that needs to get sealed off, or you just remember that there's a certain amount of maintenance that needs to be done with this thing. So, let's see, do I need to take off? Yeah, I think I need to take off the whole plate. These front standoffs for the underneath part, the standoffs, there was no Loctite on the screws for these, and these should be Loctited from the bottom. I wouldn't Loctite it from the front, I'd just do it from the bottom. I think there's too much rigidity on the bottom. There was one screw that was, it was either loose or it spun out as I was trying to twist it out. So, and I think that's what happened. I think as I was unscrewing this, it was untwisting from the bottom without me knowing. So, go ahead and flop this over there. How about if I unplug the battery? Probably be a smart move. Go after this part right here. So, I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6 in the back. So, there's 2 in the back, 2 kind of towards the front, and then these 2 right here. This will also get us a look at the spline going into the actual motor. Not the motor. Into the rear diff. And it'll also get us a look at the diff. So I don't think I'll have to get too much out of the way. I think I can just pop this case right off once I get these last 2 back screws out. I don't think I got to take the wing mount off. I don't think I have to take shocks off or anything. I mean, you could. It would make it easier just to get it out of the way. So that might be what I end up doing. But this top case should just split from the top. Now this should just do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to release one side. I wonder if this is how I pop the thing. I'm going to take off one shock, and that way I can kind of flop it completely out of the way. Now these shocks, I would recommend Loctiting things, but these haven't come apart like the Losi DB Pro. My Losi DB Pro, these nuts backed off. And do that, pop that off. Now this should... the bump is attached. Dang it. I was hoping to flop it. There's 2 screws, I think, from the back to, yeah. It's like a... Dang it. How do I get to it? Alright, well what I can do, and apparently what I have to do, is I am going to have to take out these screws right here. So the 2 screws that are right here, got to pop those out so I can kind of slide the rear bumper out of the way. Slide this out. Now, it should just flop open. There we go. So how is that even on there? Boy, how'd they get that on there? It looks like there's 2 screws. Alright. So here's the rear differential. It is a plastic cased with metal gears, and doesn't feel like there's much fluid in there. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a clean spot here. Alright, so here's the little differential. So, everything looks like it's Phillips screws. The rear differential had nothing for grease in it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to rectify that. And the reveal. A couple more twists. And the reveal of the grease inside is nothing. Alright, there's really nothing in there. So per how I do stuff, I am going to go ahead and add some fluid in there. So they got 30K, I got 50K, 10K. Because this is such a small little vehicle, I think this 10K is going to be what we need. So you can see that there was some type of a grease in there, but it's squared up. See what I'm saying? So it's just basically squared up. There isn't anything in there, and I think part of the reason why is because there's no seal. But what I'm hoping is the plastic case will be enough to go ahead and seal it up. So I'm going to let those screws kind of fall out. So it'll be interesting to know if this ends up bleeding out. So like I said, I'm just using a 10K lube. Which that's probably fine because that's way better than what it was. So I'll go ahead and just flop this over. I'm going to line up the holes. I think that's it. Yep. Just use a little pick. Now you've got to have some serious patience, man, working on these things, because everything is so tiny. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Hey, there we go. Now I think you got to be careful on the tightness here. So I'm going to alternate the spot. Yeah, guy. You will lose your mind.
Trust me.
So like I said, I am going to leave the front alone. I do like the openness of it, but I do want the rear just to have a little bit more left to right power. More evenly balanced in the rear. Okay. That definitely does feel much better. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and install this into the vehicle. I am going to use my gear lube in there just to keep things lubricated. It's probably a little too much. We'll see if that works. Something like that. This is just silicone ceramic extreme brake parts lubricant. It's the stuff I use for every ring and pinion situation. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and flop this back over to it. Putting in the dog bone from this side. This should be a trip. Probably would be easier just to take it apart. Yeah. That little bottom piece. I think I made a mess of myself here. Alright, I tried to do it the slow and dumb easy way, but that actually ended up being worse. So what I am going to do is... man. Man! See, you try to take the easy road, and it's not always the easy road. Sometimes it becomes the more difficult road. So what I have to do is I have to put the little wheelie bar thing in there. That ain't gonna be easy. Or is it? Alright, that's in there. Couple screws in there. Just to keep that in place. Now I'll flip this over. Looks like we're still good. Yep. This is totally not the right way to do this, man. But this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, so all the screws technically fell out. Not technically, they did. Okay. Now, go ahead and throw in the dog bone. On this side, connect up the shock. There are a bunch of like little things that I'm seeing on this thing that I definitely do see as a benefit, man. It's weird when you really analyze something. You start to realize that, man, there's actually a little bit into this car. Now, I don't know if the carbon fiber, you know, I don't know if that's still the best thing, but it's there and it's working. In and snap. Go ahead and put this cover on. And these got 2 machine screws because obviously it's going into metal, machine, or you call them fine thread. Just slightly blind. Okay. One more screw on that side over there. You can very, very easily lose the screws. That's definitely not it. So somehow, on this bench, just here, working with the car, I lost the tiniest little screw. And it's good. Alright, so we got to look at the rear differential. You can see I was able to stiffen it up a little bit. I can definitely feel there's change. It definitely has fluid. It's not like this one. You can see where this one's just completely wide open. This one, at least now, has some resistance to it. And with such a light vehicle, it might not be enough because of its power. So we're going to take it out to the backyard track. We're going to rip it again. Again, it does have an axle change. It did have this style. No. It did have this style of axle, which you can see it's stepped. But that's, I don't believe that's obviously what the issue was. And now I have gone ahead and swapped in this style axle into that side. So it's running a factory stock, which is that, and then it's running one from another vehicle. So we're going to see how this lasts. Now, I do want to tell you, I am realizing that this thing off-road, jumping, and some of the violent crashes on 3S, I think this thing just has too much torque. There's too much power on 3S. On 2S, I'd say you've got a very capable and fun RC car. Now, do you want to have, or do I have the tendency to want to launch things? Yes, I do, which is why I ran it on 3S, and I did some 3S jumps, but 3S is going to net some issues. Is it 3S capable? It is. Technically, its power system is 3S capable, but is the rest of the vehicle? That's borderline, man, because if you land on power, just like anything else, it's going to break. So let's just take this thing outside and see what happens. Trigger was actually recording. Yeah, it is. That's right, man. All right. All right, so we're back out with the ripper. Back out with the ripper. Oh, nose plant. Bad. Bad nose plant, man. That was a miss. Got a stick or something jammed in there. Now, do I have the dual rate turned up again? I have got to get rid of this crap. Oh, man. That thing does really good. Telling you. Turn the dual rate up just a touch. Now, if that didn't break, that was a full landing. I don't know if the camera caught it. If that didn't break on the front arm. Wow, still looks like it's good, man. Holy smokes. So I can line it up this way. Now, I let off on the trigger. This is only 2S. I let off on the trigger and it probably would have done all right. I probably could have got that full rotation. Again, this is just 2S, man. 3S I don't think is really even needed, man. right to the fence. That's why we got this up here, to protect the vegetables. Gotta protect the vegetables. All right. I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to rake up some of these rocks. Cleaned it up a little bit, gave this little thing some time to rest. Definitely need it because, again, motor was on fire. Kind of cleaned things up a little bit. Made a couple new jumps. Cleaned up that jump a little bit. So let's see what this jump has to offer now. Nothing. Gotta line the jump up a little better than that guy. All right. Ah, grass is too heavy. Grass is too deep, man. All right, if I get it going fast enough. Couple boulders are still left here. All right. So I did clean this up. See what I could get. That was right on the side, man. Can't seem to hit it this way, it's hard. That's it, low cut. You see it, thing shut off. So anyway, this is RC Guy Garage, and what I am doing is doing some accelerated depreciation. Why am I calling it accelerated depreciation? Well, because it's kind of like that accelerated abusage that I try to put an RC car through just to see if it's actually something that's worth ripping. Now I do have a 3S pack that's ready to rip. Let's see what this motor looks like. Pretty sure that this thing just shut off. So that battery's all set, ready to go. I'm pretty sure this thing shut off. So let's pop the top here. It's only been a few seconds. ESC is loose because I did that. Motor we're coming in at. And then that motor plate, 144, 156, 58, right down in there. So this little motor plate, man, it does a lot for this motor. Right on the ESC, 109, right inside where the fan is, 107-ish, 150, right on the ESC, 150. So let's see. Turns right back on. So see, we got full power. Yep, definitely do. All right, I'm satisfied with that. So let's check the battery pack here. See what we're looking at. That ESC came apart because I didn't use enough tape. The ESC is supposed to be screw mounted in there. I'm gonna clean this up and do probably another thing of stick tape on there. But this LiPo battery is coming in at 3%. So this was a LiPo shut off. And it needed it too because that motor was ready. That motor was ready to shut off. So what I should do is I should mount this little ESC back in here the way it's supposed to be mounted. See, I did it kind of just hack just to get it done. That's not always the best way to do it, so I'm gonna peel this off and we'll be back later. Because I think we got something here. Oh God.